We're going to try to go ahead and get started with the first, and maybe only, Minecraft animation compilation live stream, where we're going to go over the submissions, maybe review them if there's anything that kind of needs to be touched on. Going to go one by one over each submission, and they're going to be presented as is, more or less. I have some with a few notes on it if there's anything that I felt like needed to be mentioned in particular or anything like that. But besides that, it looks like everything is pretty much going to speak for itself. No added audio, no music or anything like that. So this is going to kind of be very as is, which is a pretty stark contrast to how I usually do it with the videos. But that's pretty much the only way to really do it in terms of a live stream without a more extensive setup and whatnot. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and get started, I guess. The first one we have on here, I don't think it shows some of the information on this screen. So what we're going to do is I'm going to like say whose animation it is, and then we're going to watch it and move on from there. So something like that. It's going to be a bumpy ride, I guess, but we'll see how it goes. Looks like we have Gucci animations here, which is pretty cool. How's it going? We had Glitch Cinnamon earlier. I don't know if he's still here. Vortex Music and Animation is here. How's it going? We're going to go ahead and get started and watch the first submission here, which is by the Red Addiction. If anyone recognizes that name from previous compilations. And yeah, so this is it. And a lot of these are going to be short, obviously. If you're familiar with the compilation, then you know that a lot of these are, in the 10-second range. So we'll see how it goes. So this is the first one by the Red Addiction. By the way, the theme is the end, of course. So we've got like kind of a basic end portal here. He's standing on it, throws a sword in. Not too bad. Get this microphone kind of set up here. And there it was. He falls in, which is actually, as you may see, is kind of a little bit of a recurring theme throughout this compilation theme here. So obviously it's very short, not a whole lot going on in that one. The main critique I would have for what I saw there, besides, it's very simple animation, not a whole lot going on, like I said, but the main thing I would say is that it looks like some of the like elastic type transitions were used on the camera. And that's something, if you've watched my tutorials and stuff, I would say is not something you'll necessarily want to do. They don't really look good. They're not cinematic, so I would highly recommend not using any of the like bounce or elastic keyframe transitions on camera movements. How's it going, Infernal Gamer? So with that said, we're going to move on to the next one, which is by Creeper Slayer of Epic. So we're going to go ahead and play this one and see what we got. So as you can see, this one is actually based in the end, and it's basically a rather kind of choppy fight happening in the end itself. And again, another short one. There's not, let's go ahead and replay that one. There's obviously this is somewhat like basic animation and whatnot, but the main critique I would have here is that it's very jumpy, as you can tell. The camera moves around a lot, and the characters are moving around a lot, and they're kind of just appearing and disappearing and things like that, so there's not a whole lot of continuity to understand what's going on in the scene. So I would definitely recommend to Creeper Slayer of Epic to kind of work on the fluidity of the scene, where you can kind of tell what's going on and what the characters are trying to do, and have the camera movements be pretty logical to what you're trying to depict. Kazuto, what's up? How's it going? And you did come back, which is cool. Frostfire, how's it going? Alright, we're going to move on to the third one, which someone called it. It's by Animation Cal, and we're going to go ahead and play that one. He's got the little like in texture in the surface there, pretty much down. You can see the kind of sparkly nature to it. Not too bad. And he jumps in it, his character, and then shows it again. That's more of like I guess a cinematic showcase. Not a whole lot of like, story or context going on there, but still pretty accurate rendition of a end portal, I guess you could say. How's it going, Boss Cow? And Dicky Animations, how's it going? So that was Animation Cows, and now we're going to move on to Craze Creeper. I think this is a new submitter that we have. I don't recall if he's submitted before. How's it going, Coop? So this is Craze Creeper. Two seconds later. Kind of going with the sort of Looney Tunes slapstick style humor there. How's it going, gaming with Braden? Yeah, we're going over this week's submissions and giving kind of a real time critique. Trying out something new for the compilation. Don't know how well it's going to go. First time we've done it. Of course, don't know if we'll be doing it this way again, but thought it might be kind of cool. Would have been nice if someone added a glow effect to the end portal. Maybe. I think there is a submission later on we're gonna see that has something like that, so we'll see how it goes. T-Star Watson. I would add music, but some of them have sound, some of them don't, so it's kind of it's just not gonna like work as well as it does for the video version of it. So right now we're just gonna sort of focus on more or less seeing the submissions as is, and then critiquing them and whatnot. So if you guys have any opinions, anything you want to throw out or whatever, then I'll try to read it as well. All right, so the next one is gonna be Ace Herobrine Archive System. That's their channel name, and we're gonna go ahead and play that one. So he builds the Ender Portal, comes to life right before your very eyes, enchants a sword like magic, and then hops in. So that one's not too bad. Again, another kind of somewhat simple animation. A lot of these are just based around the end portal itself, because that's kind of what I was showing in the live stream tutorial we did. But pretty much I wouldn't really say there's a whole lot to critique here, other than most improvements will come in time and whatnot. You can see there's not the custom texture on the surface there, which isn't that big of a deal, but just having it being black, it works, but you can give that extra little layer of polish and touch to it and whatnot by giving it some kind of texture, or doing the more advanced trick like I showed in my tutorial, or other ones that have been shown in other people's tutorials. Vortex Music, I have tried Blender. I actually have a short little like getting started series that I did with Blender. And Yellows is here. All right, so we're gonna move on to another new submitter, which is More Little Jasmine. I think that's how you would say that. So we're gonna go ahead and play this one. Putting the last Ender Eye in there. Texture and particle system happening. Very happy character. How's it going, Skyboy Games? So clearly a tale of caution as to why to never make an end portal. So that one actually wasn't too bad. There's, as you can see, there's some good lighting effects and whatnot going on. The main, obviously, like glaring critique you might have of this one is the created with Minimator watermark. Also, it looks like the camera, it produces that when you have a second camera producing a texture, which is interesting. I wasn't aware that that would happen. But yeah, you definitely want to register your copy of Minimator and then go into your render settings and turn off the watermark. I have my video 5 tips for Minimator where I show how to do that once you've registered it. So when you open up the program, there's the upgrade little button or whatever. You can click that and just sign up. You don't have to pay anything. You can donate. It's optional. But just register your copy of Minimator, and then you can go into the settings and turn that off. T-Star Watson, we're probably going to talk about that at the end of this once we cover all the submissions. Speaking of submissions, the next one is going to be Foxcat Gaming 2. And this one actually is not made with Minimator, since we kind of opened up the compilation to using other things like Blender and whatnot. This one actually doesn't look that different from Minimator. It's going to be obviously different, but I thought it was close enough that we'd go ahead and include it. I don't remember if he said what it was made with, but this is what it is, man. That was an interesting way to do the in portal there. If you notice, it's just like a cube with the texture on it. Um, I don't really know what the limitations of this software is. I don't really, like I said, I don't remember what it is. But that actually could be somewhat inspirational of like a cube that's like a portal. Kind of an interesting way to depict an in portal there. Of course, the animation itself is kind of basic and needs a lot of improvement. Again, a lot of that stuff comes with time. Like a lot of my tutorials cover some basic animation to get started with. Um, but yeah, I don't really know what the limitations of the software is, so I can't really critique that one. But I think the standout thing was the portal and how it was presented. If you did that in Minimator and kind of gave it more of like a rig and some borders and stuff, you could probably make a cool like 3-dimensional in portal. Just an idea. So the next one is by Mr. T Gaming, and I want to preface this one. It complies with the rules, so it made it in. But I just want to note on the video itself, like in the comments of his submission and whatnot, he basically said that he's only doing this for subs. Like he was using that as an excuse for why it's not very good. So obviously that's going to happen if you have a channel that has more subscribers or more viewers or whatever, and they're going to be like, well, maybe this will give me subscribers and stuff. That's kind of one of the points to the compilation, is to encourage you guys to practice and get better and whatnot, and also to shine light on those who are, obviously skilled. But to make something and basically admit that it's a piece of crap and you only did it to get subscribers from a bigger channel, kind of not cool. But anyway, this is his submission. Not trying to call him out or make fun of him or anything, but the whole point of this is to try and get better and to practice things. To just throw something together quickly with the hopes of getting subscribers who probably it's not going to happen. And if they do, if your stuff's not good, they're not going to be reoccurring viewers. So, want to, get your priorities in order is all. The transition there is kind of interesting, I will say, for this one. Let's go ahead and replay it real quick. How's it going, Ken Shinobi? When he falls into the portal, and it's kind of like a starry background, like he's falling into the end. That's actually kind of an interesting thing you could do. Like you could have like a wide camera view and have like the character falling until it gets to the weird like in stone end area. You could show him like falling into this vast openness until he lands. That would be kind of cool. Yes, Blender animations are now accepted. It's just, it might be more difficult to finish one within a week, that's all. All right. So, the next one is by Max Designs. There's a little bit more to his name, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Max Designs. Here we go. Got sound. All right, so that one was a little bit hectic in the camera movement and whatnot, but you can see kind of the stuff that's going on. Let me actually reduce the volume there. I like the skin with the little tongue sticking out and stuff, which, like, again, this is kind of back to one of the earlier submissions we had. You want to be careful about how you're doing your cinematography. Like, I understand kind of the action-y, like, shaky cam stuff that I feel like you're going for here, but it's kind of moving a little bit too much, a little too jerky, a little too, like, too much vibration to it, you might say. So I would recommend trying to kind of practice that a bit more and find exactly what it is you're trying to go for there. Blocky Boss, let's try not to spam for like the subs kind of thing, you know? Zovo's here. How's it going? All right, next one is by Dylan Gill. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. How's it going? Cheeky Manky? Manky? All right, next submission. So he makes it in, and then his derpy friend finds his own way in there afterwards. So you notice here, like, let me go ahead and pause it right there. If you notice here, oh, hang on, let me back up more. When he throws it in, it kind of does like a little shake effect. Animation is not 100% perfect, not as much polish as there could be there, but a nice little touch of like he tosses it in, it kind of flips through the air and then lands, kind of shakes a little bit and rounds itself into position. Not too bad. Nice little additional effect there and whatnot. So basically, most of the critiques you might make on this one are just animation critiques, but most of that, again, comes in time and practice. So there's not a whole lot you can really critique there, but, you know, just something to note. Just practice the animation and try to make the characters move a little bit more realistic. Realistic is also kind of a subjective term. Minecraft is not a realistic looking game, so realistic in terms of the style that you're going for, if that makes sense. Zalvi is like, WTF live. Yep, we're trying something new this week. Maybe the only time we ever do it. We'll see how it turns out. But yeah. Next one is by Dom Animations. The end didn't want him. So he runs up, jumps in the end portal, and I guess for some reason the end rejected him. Maybe this is some kind of, you know, philosophical message. Maybe a symbolism of some kind. So, again, not too bad. Another one where it's pretty basic, not a whole lot going on. Some of the animation aspects could be improved. But again, comes with time. That's what the practice is all about, man. So the next one is by Zane Mations. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I think he submitted before, but it's been a while, but now he's back. So play this one. Looks like 300. The movie. Got some subtle sound effects. Alright, so that one wasn't too bad. The Glitch Enderman, can I still submit in this stream? Well, it depends on how quickly you can get it done. Maybe. We'll have to see. Might be a little bit, you know, something. Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, I like that one a lot. I think he did a good job. I'll go ahead and play it while we're going through it. I like the kind of unique artistic take on it, the kind of black and white clouds there and whatnot. The only, like, the main issue I would notice right up front is it's, you know, obviously a darker scene, and you don't necessarily have to have everything be extremely dark where it's hard to see. Obviously, you can still kind of see what's going on here, but you can kind of brighten up a dark scene using lights. I did a lighting tutorial not too long ago where I kind of showed that a little bit, but you do want things to be visible in the scene and kind of have light shine on your subject to a degree that looks natural and not like, you know, there's just a spotlight on them for no reason. But anyway, interesting kind of a unique submission there. I can't talk anymore. But yeah. Vortex, you can watch the official rules video. If you go to any compilation video, there's a link to the official rules and whatnot. So, should explain all. Alright, the next one is by the Animations Beast. I think that's another new submitter we have this week. Lens flare. It's one of them like still life kind of scenes. Got the light rays effect. Another lens flare. Not too bad. Again, another simple one. Pretty short. I do think the extra effort in, lighting effects and whatnot is okay, but again, it's a little bit like too much, or kind of a lot of bit too much. This is the only shot that has that, the light effects or whatever. So consistency, whoops, above the mic. Consistency is also helpful when you're doing lighting and things like that. You don't want it to look like one shot has more lighting than another and things like that. Obviously, experimenting with lighting effects and the lens flares here and everything is cool. They don't necessarily stick to the surfaces the way they should. It obviously is kind of moving with the camera just a bit. It's not too bad, but things like that you'll want to keep an eye on so that you don't throw the viewer off. They're more distracted by the fact that the effect doesn't look quite right than they are by like, oh wow, that effect was cool. So, gotta nail that balance there. How's it going, Toto and Livecraft Animations? Next submission is the Bedrock Miner. And there's more to his name, but it's hard to read, so I'm just going to leave it at that. The Bedrock Miner. This is his submission. He was slain by the Ender Dragon. So let's go ahead and just have that one playing while we dissect it a bit. Pretty cool intro there. It comes in with a, what do you call it? Ender Pearl? There we go. Eats a golden apple. He's got the armor rig on. I think that may be the armor rig that I made. He jumps in. He's ready for a fight. But things don't work out. Little minimal use of side effects, but it actually does pretty well to tell the story and whatnot. Pretty good one. Not too bad at all. Alright, the next one is going to be by Enchanted. I don't know how to say it. It's R-I-J-A-D. Rihad or Rijad? Enchanted Rijad. I'm going to say it that way. Alright, this is their submission. Alright, so basically a character comes out and finds another portal, portal right outside of his house. Kind of a cool little thing, like it's pretty basic animation, as you can tell, but I like the effect of like he goes out there and picks up one and it ends, like it takes it away and then he puts it down and it comes back. Kind of a cool little twist on a pretty simple scenario there. And let's go down here to the next one, which is by Archera Nemator. I think that's how you would say his name. He submitted, I think he submits quite often, so this is his submission. So this is, as you can see, let me go ahead and pause it for a second. There's not much really beyond that. So this is it's kind of a minimalist sort of submission here. And yes, it has that kind of, the music that we don't really allow. But since we're doing a live stream thing, I'm pretty sure that music is okay to use. So I'm going to let it slide this time. This is not to set a precedent that it's okay in the future. But anyway, the animation quality is good. It usually has good lighting quality and everything, as you can see here. The animation quality is pretty fluid and whatnot. It's just the animation itself doesn't have a whole lot going on. Like the end portal basically has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that it exists in the scene. So yeah, definitely high quality animation, but might want to work on just providing more substance if possible. Again, this is weekly. You only have a week, so maybe you're polishing up the animation. You don't have a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of great stuff, but just a thing there. If you're not making it for the compilation, maybe you're doing a little bit more with it. Understandable. Toji Pair, love your content. Well, thank you. How's it going, Dominique Blanks? All right, here we go. This is Stupid Noob submission. Igniting the end portal. And that's it. Not too bad there. I do think that the way he came up the stairs and whatnot is not too bad. Kind of some little bit of added polish to a pretty basic animation there. He actually puts the thing on. I had it muted a second ago. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's actually sound to this or not, but not too bad. Pretty basic animation, but some decent quality. He's got the particle effects and the texture and whatnot on the end portal, so not too bad. All right, so the next one we got is Sitting Ninja Production said Walk Cycle was pretty good. Yay! I assume you're talking about the submission, hopefully. Some of you guys are having a conversation out there. I don't want to misrepresent it. Anyway, TD Pizza, his submission right now. Creates the portal, goes in. Ender Dragon finds his way out. And he kills the portal to kill the Ender Dragon, or to at least get rid of it. So, again, not too bad. Pretty basic animation there. I like the intro shot where it kind of zooms up to the character standing there. He activates the portal, goes in. Then the Ender Dragon ain't playing no games. Not too bad. How's it going, Bob the Dud? All right, so next animation submission is by Valver. How's it going, Random Rainbow? All right, it's a pretty good one. My main critique of this one would be the opening shot. I kind of get. I think maybe this is sort of like a joke of like, look how tall this thing is, like how high up it is. But there are certain ways you can kind of do establishing shots that don't take so long because if this is an opening shot, it's kind of like there's nothing to grab the viewer. So I would be a little careful about using a long shot like that right off the top if there's nothing being really shown in it. And I like the idea of the ironing board, the jumping thing. What do you call those? Anyway, the idea that like pops back out, Ender Dragon pushes him out, stuff like that. Pretty cool little concept there for simple animation. She died of fall damage. Sitting Ninja says it's very good. Too much bloom, says the Glitch Enderman. Camera movement was a little extra. How's it going, puppy? 288 the gamer. All right, next submission is by this is kind of a weird name, UKLZ10. Hopefully, I said that properly enough. Battle into Enderman. Alright, so again, another simple one. This one actually does take place in the end. You know, the majority of them seem to be more about the end portal, but some of them, like this, are done in the end, more or less. So mostly with this one, you could see is just basically the animation quality is pretty basic and whatnot. Nothing wrong with that if it's a beginner and stuff like that. You basically just want to focus more on the realism of the animation, just practice trying to make things look more realistic. Again, realistic within the parameters of the style that you're going for. It doesn't have to be realistic one-to-one to real life or anything like that. But yeah, Enderman explodes a little bit and he's dead. So it was good. Happy ending for everybody. Alright, so the next one is by Angel-Turtle. Just checking the comments, making sure no one's making any commentary yet. Let's see. Are you gonna do more live streams like this? Like where I'm reviewing the things? I don't know. Like I feel like it's kind of cool to be able to review them and like give my opinion of them and whatnot. I mean, I could do it in video form, but it's kind of cool to have you guys here and like to see your thoughts on it. But I don't really know if anyone's gonna like this format, so you know we may be going back to the original next week or something. But we'll see. All right, Angel-Turtle submission. Comments. You leave your comments in the chat, man. Kind of a Assassin's Creed vibe there. Epic. He'd like Assassin's Creed's himself into the end portal. Had to be a direct inspiration from Assassin's Creed, right? This may be even an Assassin's Creed build. He jumps in, dives right into it. I like the extra like doodads around the end portal. That's pretty cool. The transition with the texture there. You got the particles where he comes in and lands, and his stuff lands everywhere, and he sort of force powers it to himself. Then the climactic duel begins as the abrupt ending hits. Not too bad. Looks nice and basic. Run cycle was really nice. Alright, that was a pretty good one. Again, I like the concept and the layers to the animation there and some of the scenery. Again, don't know if the person who made it created all that scenery, but still, nice use of it at least. Alright, Enderman. Just let me know. The building is part of the Woodland Mansion, I believe. I don't know what that is, but it sounds amazing. Alright, here we go. The next one is by 2D Chris. Starting off with the derp, man. So as you can see there, that was a pretty like nice little quirky comedy one. Let's go ahead and just have it play in. With this one, you know, since it's the derp, the walk cycle, it looks a little bit, I guess, kind of like a basic walk cycle, but the actual animation seems good and kind of tailored to the character, so that's cool. The little touch with the eyes is always nice. And the little comedic element there. This is another example of it being a night scene and kind of having the subject illuminated, like I was saying. This kind of does have that sort of, you know, spotlight. You want to kind of make it look like a natural moonlight or whatever, depending on what the scene is. But still, pretty good attempt and nice animation that fits the style of the animation. That's what I'm always trying to emphasize there. You don't have to go for like some ultimate tier of like the animation has to look like this. It depends on what style you're going for, and as long as you nail that, even if it's not perfect, I think it will people will relate to it and they'll like it. All right, see you later, Zovo. How's it going gaming for days? The dirt from Black Plasma Studios. Yep. All right, so the next one is by Jake and Mason. All right, not too bad. I like the see, one of the things here, this is something I actually noticed on someone else's animation, not someone who submitted to this, but it's something to be aware of. When you have multiple characters and they're all using, like, it's fine if you want to reuse the walk cycles or run cycles and stuff, but one thing I would recommend, if you notice the way they're running is all in sync, their arms and legs are all like, kind of moving in sync, you can offset your keyframes a bit so it doesn't look so obviously copied. Just a thing, it's really noticeable when they're all kind of like running in sync or moving a certain way in sync. Mine shaft animation says too much bloom, which is pretty accurate. I would say the bloom is a little bit too overblown here, or actually in some ways a lot of it, depending on the style of the animation. Not too bad. One of the main issues that I notice here is this shot here. If you notice around here, the surface for the texture is too big for the portal and is sticking out. And I think the wind effect is enabled for this, so it kind of moves, which is not a bad way of doing this, but you do have to be careful for it sticking out that way because it's a minor detail, but it sticks out. You know, this is all supposed to be contained within the frame, so you don't want the edges of things like that sticking out kind of unrealistically or whatever. This one uses too much of bounce transition. Nice observation there. Finally, you got my name right. Oh, dude, I did it. All right, so the next one, man, is gonna be Tokyo Dude 21. Got a nice custom lighting there. Got the in portal from the tutorial, plus the particle effects. I think he's using the could be my armor rig there. Pretty simple animation. He walks up. I do like the custom lighting effects, like I say. And the other ones, like he's got kind of this, like it's dark, but things are illuminated. The subject of the scene is illuminated, and it adds a lot to the scene when you can see what's going on, and it doesn't take away. Like you can still tell that it's night, and obviously I think some of the lighting is supposed to be illuminating from, or what do you call it? It's coming from the end portal, but you can add some light to the scene so it's not just completely dark, and you can still tell that it's supposed to be night, and it doesn't necessarily ruin the effect. So, motion blur compilation. Oh dear. Maybe some point, we'll see. Next one is by White Wolf X. Before we play it, though, we got some comments coming in about the last one. Walk cycle was amazing. It was simple, though, but it's very nice. And the light from the end portal makes it brighter and much better. Exactly. That's my point, man. That's what I'm saying. All right, so the next one, White Wolf X. Here it is. All right, so there was that one. I think it's just yeah, some black there. I'm gonna go ahead and back this up and kind of go through some of the things I noticed while I was watching it. Gaming for Days said should do a little better on the walk cycle. Yellow said too dark in staffs. The walk cycle is choppy. Gucci Animation says the walk cycle is choppy and lighting is too dark and bloom can be extra at some points. So the main thing here, first of all, if you listen, all right, the sound effects are a little too repetitive. You have like the same 3 sounds playing over and over. And I know if you're using Minecraft sounds, it can be hard not to do that. But basically, you have like several, like you have at least 4 or 5 different sound effects. And what you want to do is use all of them and then like put them in a sequence. Like if you have 1 through 5, then mix it up. Like make after 5, maybe do the second sound, then the fourth sound, then the third sound, then the fifth sound, then the first sound, and you kind of like mix them up like that, so you don't get this repetitive sound going on when it comes to certain sound effects that are repetitive, like walking or whatever, and it gives you that slight variation that you need, so it's not so noticeable that you're only limited to a certain number of kind of canned sound effects. Um, Dominique Blank said walk cycle is meh. Skin is glitching, I believe, and that was way too much of use of Ender Eyes. The sound doesn't go with the walk. Not to criticize too much. It's understandable. That's how people are gonna get better, man. That's the point of doing it this way, and we'll see what reaction we can get. Evan Place says, to be honest, I like the video. I like it on video. Or wait, what are you talking about? You talking about something else, man? I'm getting confused. Anyway, the other thing is like I think it was Valvers that I mentioned where he was like going way up the tower to the diving board. That's the word I was looking for earlier. This shot lasts way too long. We're like 10 seconds into it, 11, 12, 13, 15, and like it took 15 seconds for him to walk there. And when you're doing something like this is a lesson everybody has to learn. Like I had to learn it before I did the same stuff, back in my early like video making days. You need something in the beginning, like even if it is a slow shot, it needs to be something that grabs people. It needs to kind of show something, or at least like make you believe that it's leading to something. If you're just showing someone walking, we kind of get the idea that he's walking. We don't really need to know more about the fact that he's walking. So like keeping shots like that kind of at least dynamic, change the angle a bit. Even then, you got to be careful about it, but just don't make it last so long. That's definitely something you want to keep in mind in the future, is you don't necessarily need all these shots of like a basic motion that can kind of be filled in just with your imagination. To some extent, it takes a delicate balance, all right? Also, the scene is a bit dark. You did use like some custom lighting, it's obvious, but the glare is a little bit heavy, and the lighting isn't enough to really illuminate the scene. You do have some lighting like there on the left side there. That's pretty good. You can see what's going on over there, and that kind of lighting is more what you need over here because it just looks so dark, and the contrast from the bloom is probably one of the main culprits here for why this is like this. Um, you want to kind of even that out, maybe lessen the bloom a bit and give some kind of soft lighting to the overall scene so you can see what's going on. Because if you watch that like first once or twice, you can't even hardly tell that there's a character throwing the other character into the end there. So yeah, just a few critiques. Overall, I like this one because it kind of tells a whole story. Like the hero comes up, bad guys taking the girl or whatever, throwing her in the end, and he goes to the end, defeats the dragon, and gets saves the girl or whatever. So it's like a whole little short story kind of encompassed in this little short animation. So I like that aspect. So yeah, there we go. Okay, where are we at? The next one is by TVGB1234. He's actually a pretty frequent submitter as well. So he decides to go for the epic front flip. Doesn't quite work, man. Yeah, that's it. So there's not a whole lot to comment on with this one. It's pretty basic. He comes out, he's like leaving the store or friend or whatever, whoever the villager is to the character. Tries to do an epic flip. It ends up being an epic fail and grass explodes around him. He sees this, has kind of a huge reaction to his friend, I guess, who's standing there next to a portal. And yeah, the only thing is like this shot lingers way too long. You definitely want to like cut those down and trim that up. No texture on the surface there, unfortunately, but still serves the purpose. You can tell that it's going into some kind of void or abyss and whatnot. Overall, pretty basic. You need to kind of work on ironing out some of the animation and some of the shots. You don't want to linger too long. You got to keep things moving a little bit. Sitting Ninja said, OMG, there was something wrong with that mouth rig. uh, Very funny. Animation flows well. Dude jump just because of one step. All right, so the next one is by Artel TM. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. All right, this one, again, pretty short. Um, the main thing here, the animation quality is, it's kind of hard to tell because of the way the camera's moving. It has some promise. It does seem like certain details were worked on, at least in terms of speed. It keeps moving, so not too bad. But again, another one of these, the issue is the camera work. Like it cuts so much and the angles are somewhat illogical where you don't really know exactly what's going on or what's happening in the scene, in the sense of like, the viewer kind of needs an idea of like what the layout of the scene is, what the character's doing, where he's going, what he's trying to do. So you want to have your shots, like your cinematography needs to portray that and kind of lay out that scene so in a logical progression so that the viewer kind of knows what's going on. Gucci said too fast. Dominique Blank said some of those camera movements was too fast. The animation's short, but the walk cycle was nice. Too much camera movement, trying to copy the technique from that movie that shows every part of the movement. Too quick, angles aren't right. I didn't really understand what was happening other than he goes to the portal. All right, so pretty consistent feedback with my thoughts on it. The next one is by Brightwater Studios. That escalated quickly. So this one isn't too bad. I like the concept and how, the animation is kind of rudimentary, but again, a lot of that comes with time. I like the added effect here of the Ender Dragon kind of bouncing to illustrate maybe he's like breathing and sleeping. He wakes up, Steve stops, hears it, flies over, and then suddenly gore. But I like the overall concept. Again, the slight bit of storytelling of like kind of a little bit of a plot playing out in that one. Not too bad. So yeah, not a whole lot I can comment on there. Like again, this is one of those where a lot of the animation stuff is something that comes with time, but the camera movement, again, like the cinematography, even though the animation itself was pretty basic, the cinematography shows you what's happening, and you can actually kind of get into the little bit of a plot that's going on there. So pretty cool. Dominique says walk cycle was okay. That city was beautiful. The ending was gory though, but that deserves to be in the compilation. Animation and terrain were good, Gaming for Days said. Evan plays, I'm not sure what happened with the Minecraft sound effects. There was a download for them, but it got taken down for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. Minecraft does have the files, it's just they're the file names are different now. Like Minecraft uses some random code to get them, so you do have the files in the install folder. It's just that they're a random sequence of like letters and stuff. So there are ways to figure out which ones are which, but it's kind of a lot of work. So I haven't really found an easy way to um, replace them, unfortunately. All right. So the next one is by Mineshaft Animation. And he says that this is his first animation, sort of. I looked at his channel. I think he's done like a test or two or something, but supposedly this is his first like real animation attempt or something. So here we go. Mineshaft Animation.
It is time for me to continue my dreams. Oh boy. Here I go.
All right. Extra points for using your own voice and kind of having a little bit of some character inserted in there. Let's go ahead and just turn the volume down and play it again. I like the idea of it kind of exploding and throwing him against the wall. A little bit of slapstick humor there. Using a rig, doing lip sync, all these kind of crazy things you threw in there. A lot of extra props. Nice work on that. I know you're in the chat, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it for any later viewers. Good animation and good lighting and good camera movements, Gucci said. Gucci Animations. Dominic Blanks is nice for a first animation. The mouth sync was good. Long story short, it's a pretty good first animation. Gucci said, I like that one. Gaming for Days, great animation for some who just started on a full project. I hope there will be more. Most Wanted Wolf said, better than my first. Sitting Ninja said, holy shiznit, that was actually good. Alright, yeah. Once again, not too bad there. I like all the little quirks to it and everything, all the little nuances you added to it. Pretty good job there. Noises. Noises. Alright, next animation, it gonna be Zimnix. Zimnix is someone who I think he submitted before, like earlier in the compilation. I think it's been a while. He's been on hiatus or something, but it looks like he's coming back, and this is his submission. Turn the volume up, sorry. And that was the end of that one. Again, this is not a precedent that this music is allowed in the compilation. Normally, if it was a video, that would have been muted. But since it's a live stream, can't do as much about it. So that's what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and have this one playing again while we dissect it. I like the walk cycle here. It's not 100% realistic, but I think it fits more or less the theme of what was going on here. I like the lighting and the fact that he did this sort of Indiana Jones thing. He's got his backpack and he's going in. He's got his like little magical key there. Goes in to the Ender Dragon. You think he's gonna fight him, but he's actually just cutting cake to share with him or whatever. Pretty cool concept, and I like the little story that plays out there. And you know, for some of the rudimentary aspects of the animation and whatnot, it still told the story pretty nicely and was enjoyable to watch. Gucci Animation says, good animation, kind of bad lighting, and I like the door. Dominique Blank says, walk cycle was my animator walk cycle, not my favorite. That jump and landing was fantastic. That second jump and sword putting away was nice, was smooth, nice. The animation looks good, says Gaming for Days. The walk cycle is good as well. Maybe update the sky graphics though. Yeah, that was my main critique here would be this background just being purple. Using the end texture or even just a nighttime sky or something would probably have served better there. Random Rainbow said real good, also interesting. Yellow said very good. I like how he uses transitions. Alrighty, next one is by Mob Bob. Mob Bob, all one word. Alright, that one was pretty quick. Let's go over it again. I like that. I like how the end portal comes into being. Got another little thing there where the Ender Dragon sticks his head up and out, which is kind of interesting that someone else did that as well. He comes up, I think that was a shulker thing or something he comes up in. Is that supposed to be like inside the Ender Dragon's belly or something? I don't know. So, Steve's plight ends there, man. Fast animation, I like the portal thingy, said Gucci Animations. Random Rainbow said, feels like stop motion animation. Sitting Ninja said, could slow the frames per second down. Jesus. Evan Plays says, too fast. Dominique Plays, animation was fast, can't say much, but that end portal popping up was nice. Gaming for Days, this animation says not to open the end portal. I think that's what most of them are saying at this point. It's an egg, I guess. It says H. How do you say the name? H. Nude? H. Nud? Alright, so the next one is by Derek Yule Morales, if that's how you say it. Hopefully I got that right. All right, that one actually shows a lot of promise, I would think. The beginning here, this glow effect, it looks as though you have a texture on a cube and you don't have show back faces turned on. So you get this thing where you see the front faces that are facing the camera, but you don't see these. But obviously the nature of what you're doing here would need to have those back faces showing, so you might want to check that in your object settings. Otherwise, that would have been a pretty cool effect. I would say it's a little bit too tall. I might have scaled this down a bit so it's more subtle. Maybe reduce the alpha on it so it's not quite as bright there. Kind of stands out a bit too much. But I do like the idea. And I think that's kind of one of the things that I like about this submission in particular is that it's got a lot of interesting ideas. How the camera follows Steve in there and it kind of shows him going into the abyss in that way. You got some kind of like custom sky with star textures in the background. Cinematography, it's not 100% polished, but the idea is there, and I like that of how it zooms in on the arrow flying, and then it shows it blow up. You got the shot of Steve running up, and he's like just ready for action. You know, Ender Dragon flies by, kind of epic zooms and landing in front of him and whatnot. Pretty cool concept. Pretty rough, obviously, it's understandable. We got some practicing to do and whatnot, but the ideas are there, and I think that counts a lot. So, definitely a nice effort on this one, in my opinion. How's it going, TKA 24? Dominique Blank says it was nice, but that one arrow wasn't moving. I like the glow from the surface, and the camera was following Steve into the end. It was nice. Gaming for Days said the portal's glowing effect was alright. The character needs some work. The character or camera moves around well. Boy Gaming, how's it going? How's it going, Fire King? Random Rainbow said needs a bit of a touch. Still, I like it. After Effects is acceptable in the compilation. Animation Cow, did you skip by? No, man, it was up earlier. You missed it. You should have been here, man. All right, so next one is gonna be by Haonia, and I think he always uses music. So this time, I have a note on his. I have to whoop. As you can see there, we're gonna mute this one because it's just got music all throughout it. So easy to fix this one, even on live stream. Well, thank you, Boy Gaming. I appreciate it. All right, so this one, as I said, is by Haonia. That's how I pronounce it. I don't know if that's how you do it. Maybe it's Wyonia. I don't know. Haonia. That's how I said it. And this is his submission. This is another one of the still life scenes where there's kind of like a moment in time, I guess you could say. So, again, very short. I do like the lighting, though, and I like the concept here of this weird kind of mutated creature or something coming out of the inn. It definitely alludes to what would probably be a pretty cool animation concept if you fleshed it out and made something. And as you can see here, he's got the custom torch lighting and whatnot. It looks like he's probably using techniques that I've seen by other tutorial makers in the what's that guy's name? Keep on chucking or whatever. Could be wrong, but I think he's maybe using that like dual point light technique on the torches, and it does look pretty nice the way he used it here. And again, smooth camera movements and stuff. Very cool, very cinematic. And I still think my favorite part is the mutant Enderman things coming out of there. It's almost like a giant spider or something. I like it. Fire King says, I love it. And unmute that. Boy Gaming said this one is cool. Evan plays, we'll get to the next compilation theme at the end of this. Ah, my throat's dry, man. Animation Cal said indoor lighting from Keep On Chucking. Probably. That would be my guess. Gaming for Days said great surroundings, lighting, and custom objects. Has great scenery behind him, said Animation Cal. How's it going, Creeper Slayer of Epic? We already covered your submission earlier, by the way, so maybe you'll have to watch this when it goes up. Hopefully, as long as nothing happens to the video, it'll go up as a video on YouTube later. I'll probably have to do some work on it a little bit, so I'm not sure if it'll go up today, but hopefully by tomorrow. As long as YouTube don't screw with me. Sometimes it takes forever to process. We've got about 6 submissions left, Glitch Cinderman. Yeah, you gotta sign up for them notifications, man, or you don't get them. Alright, the next submission, man. Next one is by XX GUGXXYTX. So instead of trying to pronounce that as a word, I'm just gonna do that. That's what it is. So here we go. All right. So not too bad. Probably a fairly beginner's animation here. Um, the added particle effects definitely a nice touch, but kind of don't really know what their purpose is in the scene. I guess it's supposed to just come from the character. I'm not really sure. Another instance of a really long intro shot of just walking, something, I've already covered before. If you've watched this far, then you've already heard that critique. You want to keep those short and kind of to the point. Another thing here to note is when the camera moves certain points, like you notice how it's going from very, very different positions and it's kind of flying in between. You want to use instant keyframe transitions in Minimator so that the camera will just cut to the next shot. If you leave it on linear or something like that, even if you put them like on, say, keyframe 1 and keyframe 2 are right next to each other, one frame apart, and you have it on linear, you'll still see like a blip of a frame in between them as the camera is moving from one spot to the next. So you want to add that instant keyframe transition to make it just cut seamlessly, and it'll be a lot better and there'll be less distraction to the viewers. Yellow said that's impossible to fart that long. Gaming for Days said walk cycle needs a little work. Also, it's too long. Camera also needs some work. Nesta said those eyebrows on fleek. Yellow said that fart color though. He's really onto the fart thing. Dominique says the opening scene lasted way too long. Walk cycle was nice, and the cape and particles were nice. Evan Play said Illuminati confirmed, which I agree. The glitched Enderman. Can you submit in like 10-20 minutes after this? I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm not sure how things are gonna go. You're kind of running out of time, but we'll see how it goes. Feel free to submit it regardless, but we'll have to see what happens. Will you make another animation of your own sometime from now? Hopefully. I got to find the time to do it. Things have been kind of hectic with the schedule lately, but we'll see how it goes. Logan DeBlanc, how's it going? All right. So, next one up is by the French animator. The French animator. This is their submission. Covered the watermark thing earlier. Register your copy of Minimator and disable it. All right. So I actually like this one a lot. In the very beginning, it almost looks like it's maybe not that promising. You have kind of a basic shot here. Basically, if I had to offer any critique on just this here, the lighting could be improved because when you first look at it, it's a very kind of flat, two-dimensional like shot or scene, and a few little lighting tricks here and there would definitely bring that out and kind of illuminate that scene better and make it more interesting to look at, especially when it lingers so long. Um, Frostfire said that was nice. Boy Gaming, Lolan. Nesta said best animation with a watermark. Crossfire said camera transitions need work. Let's see. Dominique Blanks, okay. Watermark, nope. They used the actual stronghold. Jumping was nice. Walk cycle was nice too. Nice animation. Or noise animation. Boy Gaming said poor Ender Dragon. All right, so that was just a little critique there of the lighting in this shot. This one here, I actually like the way that they did the walk cycle sound effects. It kind of has that variation that I was talking about. To some extent, it doesn't come off like too repetitive. The jump here is actually pretty good, especially when he pops into the frame here. There's a little bit of kind of momentum and weight and motion to the character's movements. Pretty good. Then, of course, I love the comedic twist here. The Ender Dragon thinks he's awesome and all tough and stuff, and then he just murders himself on the thing there. So that's pretty awesome. Most Wanted Wolf said lighting, like I said, but pretty good. Gaming for Days, the character animation is funny and great. 2, we can't beat the Ender Dragon. That was easy. Or that easy. Glitch Tinderman, you having problems, man? Alright, so the next one is by Conor. C-O-N, capital N-O-R. Alright, so that one actually, the animation quality I feel like is pretty decent in this one. Something about it, like one thing is I think this submission, let me see if I can check here. There's something about the quality of it. I don't know if it was depth of field or the bloom or something, but it comes off kind of blurry and pixelated in a way. Like something about the quality, the way it was rendered, kind of messed it up a little bit. So let's see here. Yellow said that's hecky good. Oh my god, the chat's moving too fast. Hang on. Ikaj plays, if I'm pronouncing that right. Ding, that lighting though. Boy Gaming said, wow, cool. Yellow said 10 out of 10. Evan plays, love that. Yellow said, very good. Let's see. Dominic blanks. Okay, motion blur was a lot. Inventory was good. Sounds were nice too. Awesome. Agustin Martinez. Is that pronouncing that right? He used the editing for lighting, to be honest. Let's see. That lighting and animation looks great. Gaming for Days said. All right. So, yeah, again, this is definitely a solid effort here. I don't know what it is about the video quality exactly, if it's like a overuse of fog or depth of field or bloom or something, but something makes it come off a little bit low quality. I don't know if maybe it's just the rendering or something. I like the effect here with the three-dimensional inventory thing. Nice use of the armor and whatnot. Nice camera angles and cuts. I do think the lighting buffer may have been low here. If you notice on the walk, let me see. Where is it? Right there, the lighting on the shadows there, you notice how it's kind of like popping around and speckly and stuff. If you increase your lighting buffers before you go to render the final animation, you'll get better quality shadows. I think that's what was going on there. Don't quote me on it, but I would wager that that's what the problem was there. But anyway, the overall animation quality and everything was really nice, and I like the way everything was done, and a lot of people seem to agree. A lot of good feedback in the chat here. Please call me Creep Anxious. Say what? All right. The next one is by Weirdest. Like the weirdest. Whatever. Weirdest. All right. Here it is. All right. So not too much to critique here. It's pretty basic animation. The facial expressions and whatnot aren't too bad, and the goodbye world thing, I guess that's the character that's tired of life or something. And I guess he was right in terms of saying goodbye world. So nice little sort of, I guess you could call it dark comedy. Not too bad though. Not a whole lot there, like I said, to critique, but pretty good effort it looks like. Yellow said weirdest animation ever. I see that Yellows is going for the puns. Weirdest animation in this compilation. Thanks for the tip of lighting. Yeah, man. Gaming for Days said the animation was funny. The character rig was pretty good. Dominique Blank says he says goodbye world, which means he wants to end his life. My only problem with it. Yeah, it's a little bit dark. Oh, how's it going, weirdest? He's actually here. All right, let me get this next one set up. It's another one that we're gonna have to mute. There we go. All right. Actually, I should mute them and then okay. I got it down now. If we ever do this again, then I'll know, and except for when I forget. All right, so this one is by Minecraft Twilight Sparkle Does. I think that's the full name there, and this is what they submitted. All right, so as you can see that was a pretty short one, and it's another one of those. Even though it's short, most of the animation focuses on the walk. Unfortunately, basically this scene, if you count it, and this shot here, which is basically the end. The entire shot itself is basically a fade out, which is kind of an issue here. We're only 8 seconds into the submission, and it's basically the end of it. So, and like that's where the actual theme comes into play. Again, it technically qualifies, which is why it's here, but you want to try to have the theme be a little bit more significant part of the submission. Overall, though, I think the walk cycle and everything look pretty decent. It's not a bad effort for what it is. Nice use of a rig. I like that the character is kind of an odd purple thing. It reminds me of that movie. What's that animated movie? Home? I don't remember what the characters are called, but for some reason it reminds me of that. Gaming for Days says the walk cycle was okay, but the animation could be longer. Cosplay said, I agree. How's it going, Butter Tea? Dominique Blank says, walk cycle was nice, but it was short. Short animations are not the best. It's Purple Ship's wife. Alright, let's go ahead and turn that mute off. I wish I could tell you how to pronounce my name. Well, yeah. I'm sorry. Ikaj. I don't know how you say it. I call you E-Plays. Welcome back, Logan. Oh yeah, the guy's name was O from Home. Yeah, Home. Oh. Alright, here we go. This is the final submission. I can't believe we've gone on this long. It took a while to go through these submissions like this. That is crazy. No one's gonna watch this. All right, so the last one is by MC, spelled EMCEE. He submitted before, and this is what he gave us. And that was it. The animation quality here is actually pretty good. The lighting isn't too bad. It's pretty basically natural lighting. Bulk cycle looks pretty decent for the angle that you see, and it kind of ends abruptly. Again, this is another one of those where, I mean, you have the end portal here, but there's not much of an explanation as to why it's there. Again, short, just a submission, I get it, but not a whole lot of context going on. And where whatever it is that hits them comes from, it's really difficult to even tell what it is. Oh, it's just like a line of something. Um, there we go. See, whatever that is, it hits them. But overall, like, I mean, the lighting and the animation quality itself looks pretty decent. It's just pretty quick and not a lot to really go on there. How's it going, Real Kashir? Ekaj? So I'm just gonna say it that way, man. I'm sorry. He plays, says nice animation, nice lighting. What the heck ending? Gaming for Day says lighting, walk cycle, and camera were pretty good. Okay, Glitch Cinnamon. Let me know on the Discord. Weird, it says Anxious want a way to make the shadows look more realistic, make them have a tint of blue. Sometimes, yeah, you can definitely do that. Mess with the tint, like the ambient lighting tint and the shadow and whatnot. You can kind of give them some colors that sort of reflect. Kind of gives you a little bit of the, what do you call it? Ambient occlusion in a way. A little bit more realistic effect there, depending on the lighting you have. Dominique Blank said, last animation thought, rendered in HD, walk cycle was nice, the surface for the end portal wasn't nice. It was also short, and he got hit by a spear before he could enter. Good animation, though. How's it going, Legend MC? Guys, get on my level, I made him laugh. Ionia says, forgive me for the dang music. That's right, man. I banished forever. What's the next theme? That's what everyone wants to know, isn't it? What is the next theme? What could it be? What could it be? All right. So, that's all the submissions we got. Glitch Cinderman's having trouble getting his done. So, here we go. What we're going to do, I should animate for my own compilation. I don't know. All right, this one, I haven't been able to give this one enough thought. All right? But it's an idea that I've had for a while. And in the spirit of doing something new, as we are doing here, we're going to go with something a little different. And one of the questions is, I guess this would be okay to have for 1 week. I was kind of thinking you might need a little bit longer to do this one, but I'll show you what it is, and you guys tell me what you think. But this was the idea, and we'll see how it goes. There it is. This week's theme, if I can not choke, the Great Minecraft Let's Play. So, if you're wondering what that is, if you've ever watched a big channel, like a Let's Play channel, like say Markiplier or something, or even PewDiePie, or whatever, you have people who will take the audio from their Let's Plays and make an animation to it. So that's the idea with this theme, is you can go to the Great Minecraft Let's Play. It's got like 10 episodes to it or something. It's got crazy editing, audio and everything. You can use audio from that series. You can use just one particular scene in it, or you can take multiple scenes and cut them up and kind of make it a random like multi-skit animation or whatever. But just use the audio from any of those episodes or a combination of episodes, however you want to do it, and make an animation to suit the audio. All right, so that's pretty much it. But the twist on this theme is, and in the spirit of what inspired it, like people doing those kinds of animations for channels and whatnot, is the idea that I had is the ones that are good. Like everybody wants me to do something where the people who are doing really good work kind of get featured more or something. So here's what's going to happen, hopefully, with this. We'll see how it goes. It's all up in the air. But if we have really good submissions, hopefully a number of them, the best ones will possibly be featured on the channel, like on their own, like just uploaded to the channel as an animation. Now the thing is about that, if it's only like 10 or 20 seconds long, that's not gonna really work. It really needs to be somewhere up there near a minute. Or if there are a bunch of short ones, maybe I would just combine them into a thing and kind of have them up there. But I would really like to have them stand on their own. So again, all up in the air. We don't really know what's going to go on with that, but that's the idea. And this is something that maybe we can start as a compilation, and then later on down the road, if people just decide to randomly do it, then it could be something where good ones will get put up on the channel just as people let me know they've made them. I don't know. We're going to start with this for now, though, and that's the idea. So you can make animations longer than a minute. Basically, the length rules for the compilation are pretty soft. Like 10-second minimum is kind of a hard one, like it can be like 8 seconds or something if it shows enough of the theme in that 8 seconds, but it definitely needs to be closer to 10 seconds or whatever. But the 1 minute rule is kind of a softer target where if it goes over, all I have to do is cut it down if I have to for the compilation. But for this particular compilation, even if it was like 2 minutes, if it's a really good one and I wanted to upload it to the channel, then it would be better suited to that. But it has to be good. I don't want you guys like putting together 2 minute animation and then it doesn't get featured and you're all bummed and stuff. So kind of hard to really give you a guideline there. But point is, that's kind of what we're going with. It may end up being nothing but a compilation, but if there are really good ones that kind of fit the mold well enough, and I'm not sure what that mold is, it'll just have to be, something that I'll know when I see it, then it's possible that your animation could be featured on the channel if that's something you would be interested in. So that's it. That's pretty much the dang old theme there. So hopefully that's cool and exciting or something. That would be awesome. Cynic, I'll use that coffee pee thing. Oh my god. That'd be so horrible. Does it have to include sound? What do you mean exactly? That's kind of the point of it. You're using the sound from the Let's Plays to animate to. One thing you will want to watch out for with regard to this is if you're using Minimator to put sound in, it can come out all crackly. And unfortunately, that's like if it's in the compilation, that'll be fine. But if you want it to have a chance of being uploaded on the channel, if the animation quality is good enough, then the crackly audio is kind of a no-go. So what I would recommend if you have that problem is use the audio in Minimator to animate to, but then render the animation without it and add the audio back in a video editor. So yeah, that's what I would recommend doing in order to avoid the crackly audio thing. Zovo copyright though? What do you mean? Evan plays. I have a tutorial on how to import sound into Minimator. Anxious, how long do we have for this? Anybody have any input on that? Like how long you think it would take to animate to audio like that? A free video editor is HitFilm Express. I highly recommend it if you don't have anything worth using. Zovo, if you're using the audio from my Let's Plays, it's all like copyright free and like good to use on the channel. So you're just gonna use audio that I've already created and like I already know that it's good, and then you're just gonna use that for an animation. Of course, I'm not gonna put any copyright strikes on anybody for something I'm telling you to do, so you don't have to worry about copyright within this instance. Gucci Animation says you need 2 weeks at least. In Hood or in H368 or whatever your name is. Yeah, I got it right. 368. It's at 10 days. Two or 3 weeks. Skyboy Games. Fuzzy Wizard said 12 days or 2 weeks. All right, so we'll probably have to go with 2 weeks on this one then, just to give it enough time. Again, because since this is a thing where we're kind of offering a higher tier of reward, if you want to call it that. Like if you wanted to have a chance of getting on the channel or something, then I'm gonna go ahead and make this one a 2 week. So we're not gonna have a compilation next Monday. We'll go with 2 weeks for this one. So 2 weeks from now, we'll go ahead and have the deadline for the compilation. That should give you guys enough time to make something at least. And again, like I said, this may be an ongoing thing where if you go through my channel and find any Let's Play, even if it's not Minecraft Let's Play, it could be any random Let's Play, even the horrible ones that I did earlier on, which I don't know why you'd want to use them, but this could be a thing that could kind of be done from here on if any of you guys are interested in doing that. But I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. How to download your audio. Now that is the question. There's like a number of ways of doing it. There are like add-ons for Firefox and Chrome where you can download YouTube videos and then you can take the audio out of them from there if you wanted to, like in a video editor or whatever. There's other ones I think that will let you just download the audio itself. Just you'd have to Google it. I don't remember the names of them. Also, there are websites too. I think Weir just mentioned one where you can just put the link in and it'll let you get the download link from it. Bob the Dude. Evan Plays, like I said, I have a tutorial on how to add sound to your MyAnimator project. And then from there, like it should be pretty intuitive to add it in a video editor if you wanted to. King Edo, hold on, AnxiousCynic, could you explain more about this theme, please? My voice is going hoarse, man. I don't know if I could do it. Maybe someone else in the chat can kind of illustrate it in a more concise fashion than what I just did. If anyone feels up to it. Any audio, Heyonia, from the great Minecraft Let's Play, any audio from any episode of that series you can use. There's not much of a need to add anything. Like the only sound you should really use is the sound from the videos themselves. Like you don't really need to add additional music or anything like that. Just watch someone animate the stream. Hey Onya, if you do add background music, you're gonna have to list the source of it, and then it'll kind of be judged based on what I can confirm. You need to say like what the music is and where you got it from, and then we'll judge it from there. Since this is kind of a unique theme, but just be aware that it definitely has to be copyright royalty free and confirmably so. Anything from like Incompetech or whatever is probably fine. Fuzzy Wizard, it's the Great Minecraft Let's Play. There's a playlist on my channel for it. It's any episode or any audio from that series. Archer Debater, yes, this is the end of the compilation live stream. How do I make the Great Minecraft Let's Play without the audio and scenery animation, Cal? You can get the audio just by, using an add-on or website to download the videos or to convert the MP3 or whatever and download it. The scenery, that's a good question. I probably need to provide a world save, which again, that's why it's good that we have a little bit additional time on this one. We have 2 weeks for anyone wanting to submit to this one. So what I'll probably try to do is put up a world save download in the description of this video when it goes live. Maybe something like that. Otherwise, if you are in our Discord channel, then I will post it there for anyone who's trying to do it as well. So like if this video happens to take a while to go up or whatever, then I'll try to get the download up in the Discord for users there ahead of time. And then for the rest, you can find it in the description of this video when it goes up. And I also probably will try to do like a little write-up of the theme so it's more concise and understandable, hopefully in writing. Creeper, Slayer of Epic, what do you mean can you use your audio? I mean, technically, you don't have to use the Great Minecraft Let's Play world. Like, you can kind of recontext it, just use the audio and have it playing out in a different scenario. So, you know, you can really get creative if you wanna. All right. I have to be right back 1 second, and when I come back, if you're still here, if any of you that don't understand the theme, they want to understand what this theme is, if nobody's chimed in chat or whatever, I'll come back and I'll make one more explanation for it, and then we'll just leave the rest to the video description once this goes up. So I will be right back in a second. So we're going to go to the intermission screen that everyone loves so much. All right, so I'll be right back. All right, so I actually might, like, I'm going to have to end the stream now, but I may try to get back on and play a game later if any of you guys want to come back later on and enjoy that somehow. But yeah, so gonna end this one so I can try to hopefully get this put together as a video or whatever and have it go up as soon as possible. But I may be on later to do some gaming or something. Not sure. We'll see. But just keep your eyes open if you guys are gonna be up for, you know, another few hours or so and want to join back in. Anyway, to recap for anyone here who's unclear about this next 2 weeks theme, you have 2 weeks to do this theme, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna get any episode or episodes audio. You can cut it up however you want, use whatever parts you want or don't want, whatever, from my Minecraft Let's Play series, The Great Minecraft Let's Play. All right. So if you've ever seen a channel like Markiplier or PewDiePie or whatever, where people take the audio from their Let's Plays and edit it into like a little scenario and make an animation from it, that's basically what this is. You're going to take audio, any of it that you want, from the Great Minecraft Let's Play series, and you're going to animate using that audio. I have a tutorial on my channel for how to add audio to Minimator, so you can use that. And in the description of a video, if I can get this video done and whatnot, I'll try to put, if I can find a resource for like how to download audio or whatever, I'll try to do that. Otherwise, you'll just have to Google it. But you can get the audio from the video, put it in Minimator, animate to it. You may have to cut it up or do whatever it is you need to do to the audio. A little bit advanced, I understand, but you know, it is what it is. I can't really make that easier. So you do that, make an animation using the audio from it, and submit it. And what you'll want to do, another little tip to that, is the vibrato issue with Minimator. If you put sound in there and you'll hear it goes like all poppy and bubbly sounding or whatever. All right, Yellows, thanks for coming and joining and sticking around for a while. If you notice that problem, what you're going to want to do is use the audio to animate in Minimator, but then you're going to want to render it without audio, or it doesn't matter if you do have it, but you're going to want to replace the audio in a video editor so that you get more pristine audio without that glitchiness. Unfortunately, I wish that wasn't a problem, but that's the only way around it that I know of. For the most part, you might be able to convert the audio to like a .ogg file with Audacity or something, but I don't know. You can experiment. If you can find a way to make it work in Minimator, then good luck. And if you do that, that's fine. But otherwise, I recommend just replacing the audio with a video editor. Monkey Gaming, how's it going? All right, so those are the basics of the theme and how to do it. And the bonus reward prize, whatever you want to call it, is if you make an animation that's good enough, if the animation quality is good enough, and if it's long enough, like obviously like a 10 or 20-second animation isn't going to really qualify, but if it's long enough, and I mean long enough as in close to a minute, then there's a possibility that your animation could be featured on the channel, meaning uploaded by itself to the channel to be featured as your animation that was made with this audio and whatnot. So that's kind of the little bonus. A lot of people have been asking me to do something more to feature the quality animators that joined the compilation. So that's an idea that I had. So we'll go from there. So that's basically a recap of what the theme is. And yeah, so hopefully that works out. Creeper Slayer of Epic, if you don't know how to really edit the sound in Minimator or whatever, then you can still just try to animate to the best of your ability and then add the sound later or whatever. You don't necessarily have to use the audio in Minimator and animate to it, but that would just make it easier for timing purposes and whatnot. But you can really do it however you want as long as the end result is good. Arch Debater, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what the theme is. How many will get that privilege? Well, it really depends on the number of quality animations there are. Like I said, this is something that may be an ongoing thing, like later on, if people want to just find old Let's Play videos I've done and do this with them. It could be possibly like a thing that we'll continue doing or whatever, but this is kind of just the first little foray into that field, and we'll see how it goes. Monkey Gaming, I'm doing all right. Going hoarse because I've been talking constantly for like 2 hours, but not too bad. We're about to actually wrap this stream up for now because I got some stuff to do, but I may be getting on a little bit later. Let me see what time it is. I don't know. Maybe in an hour or two or something. If I get back on, I might be playing some games or something. So yeah, just letting everybody know what's up. Arch Animator, this if you're talking about like the compilation video, like this stream was it. We already covered all the submissions and went through them. I'm gonna hopefully get the video done and like uploaded. Like the video of the stream. Unfortunately, it's gonna be really long for those who aren't part of the live stream. I don't know if it'll be that enjoyable to watch, but hopefully it'll have something to offer, and I'll have that up. Hopefully, I don't know if it'll go up tonight, but maybe by tomorrow. All right. That's going to be it for me. Like I said, I got to take a break and do some stuff or whatever, but I may be back on to play games a little later for anyone who wants to come back or like keep their eye open. I usually announce it on the Discord when I'm going to be on streaming and stuff like that, so feel free to join that if you want to keep up a little better. But anyway, I'm going to take a break for an hour or two. Hopefully I'll come back and play some games. If I don't, then I'll hopefully be back tomorrow to stream some more and whatnot. But that's going to be it for the Minimator compilation animation thing. And hopefully I'll get that put together and up on the channel later on. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining and contributing. I thought this was a lot of fun. It kind of turned out a little better than I thought it would. It was cool. And stuff. So yeah, that's it. And if I get on a stream later and you guys want to stick around and come back or whatever, then I'll see you later. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next stream tomorrow or something. So if this is the last that we speak tonight, have a good night or day or whatever it is for you, and I'll see you next time. So I'm gonna stop it, all right? I'm gonna hit the button. All right, here we go. I'm hitting it.